My God is an awesome God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to John Dudley Speaks. I'm your host, Griselda hasn't just been in the conversation for Best Underground Collective of the 2020s, they are the conversation. Former acts like Mac Homie and Conway the Machine have gone on to make their mark in the hip-hop industry, while producers like Conductor and artists like Benny and Boldy are establishing that this can be way more than just coke rap. It can be high art. And no one understands that more than Westside Gunn, who co-founded Griselda with Benny the Butcher and Mac Homie back in 2012. Personally, he's always been my favorite on the roster, and his unique delivery, vocal tone, and ad-libs are something so refreshing that feels like a distant memory in hip-hop. His Hitler Wears Hermes series is iconic and was supremely influential on East Coast rap of the 2010s, and his debut studio record, Fly God, was astounding, gaining the attention of Eminem's Shady Records the next year. Supreme Clientele and Pray for Paris followed in 2018 and 2020 respectively, with production from Harry Fraud and The Alchemist, among a whole slew of others like Rock Marciano and Static Selecta. But he really wasn't on my radar until the very next year with Hitler Wears Hermes 8, which is a grimy, cold, and steely project that could be pegged as the millennial version of the Lost Tapes. 10 was also a really good entry into this series, riding off the back of Peace Fly God in 2022. And though the next year's And Then You Pray For Me wasn't my favorite, I've been very excited about what Westside Gunn will bring to his catalog next. And with the drop of Still Praying on Halloween this year, he hasn't disappointed one bit. Westside Gunn collaborates with the usual suspects here, like Static and Conductor. And once again, the magic is there with these guys along with Crucial the Guillotine and Camouflage Monk, matching Westside Gunn's energy perfectly. Denny LaFleur and Static go nuts on the album's first proper track, Beef Bar, and I couldn't help but smile at DJ Drama's distinct voice hosting the project. It's grimy, it's sludgy, and it's surprisingly soothing. The siren synths coalesce with the hypnotically jazzy piano keys that could put you to sleep in the best possible way, and that's something that Dr. Britt Baker and I Know Verdi execute excellently on as well. Max Caster takes a similarly spare direction, the crackling vinyl effect adding a layer of character to the instrumental that feels timeless yet whimsical. The trashy drums mixed with the haunting keys on Duran Duran leads to a fairly distinct instrumental that's bleak and full of unreleased tension and aggression. But the Mad Villainy-inspired Runway pieces at The Last Supper is production of the highest order, melding its jazz-laced foundations with abrasive touches that are just as in-your-face as Westside Gunn's ad-libs. Speedy 40 and Free Shots might be comparatively messy, and the title track lacks a level of variation for such a long track, but this is underground rap at its finest, produced by maestros who understand a whole lot about how texture and ambiance goes a long way.
Let me tell you how life been recently.
Static.
It's been speculated that Westside Gunn wrote and recorded this album pretty quickly, and honestly, you could take a quick look at this album and say yes and no to that assertion. In some respects, it does feel like a lot of these tracks were put together fast, and from an arrangement perspective, song ideas kind of blur into one another, so there's a lack of cohesion and focus on the songwriting front, at least from a compositional POV. Then again, you get the proud of myself line on Max Caster, which is super playful and slick and a microcosm of the wordplay on this record, as well as the brag rap and patchwork storytelling on Dr. Britt Baker, which is immediate with instant quotables on Luxury, as well as instantly recognizable confrontational jabs. Runway Pieces at The Last Supper is a stunning central piece from a songwriting angle, painting a vividly violent picture that doesn't feel glorified as much as it feels necessary to survive. The Conway verse on Free Shots wasn't my favorite, and I feel like the concepts being spoken about on that track could have been fleshed out more, but overall I didn't mind the underdevelopment too much. I actually prefer the 7-minute title track in comparison with Stove God Cooks, as it's the closest that Westside Gunn gets to hammering the point home, that even after all the wins and riches he's been showered with, he's still praying for safety, for survival, and prosperity. And it's a motif that ties this record together in a nice, if not messy, little bow. I always enjoy the mic presence that Westside Gunn brings, and though this isn't his most energetic or tightest performance, Still Praying features mastery on a rapping level that most artists would kill to achieve. With so much personality in his delivery on Max Caster, Dr. Britt Baker, and the title track, you can't help but nod along to his nearly stream of consciousness cadence. And the thing is, tracks like Runway Piece at The Last Supper benefit from their loose writing, as Westside Gunn's raps come together like sketches, painting atmospheric vignettes that are enveloping and meaningful. He can get a little too unwieldy and unfocused, and personally I would have liked it more if we got a couple more verses on each song, just so we could sit with him longer in a particular mode. But when the flows are this good and the confidence is this high, you just gotta sit back and respect it.
Shit right here. It's like Leonardo da Vinci.
I was surprised by how thoughtfully and coherently this album flows, especially since it was cobbled together in such a short amount of time. And at 14 tracks and 37 minutes, Westside Gunn wastes no time, even if the segues and progressions can hit strange hiccups and choppy passages throughout. I enjoyed that the longer tracks feel justified in their scope, and the title track itself, while slightly disjointed, earns its length due to the dedication from Westside Gunn to keep our attention on him and take in his immense, immersive talent as an MC.
Bow down when you see greatness. Still praying.
I'm a Eastside nigga, I'm a Eastside nigga, I'm a Eastside nigga.
This is a solid Westside Gunn project, as expected once again, and I think we just keep on experiencing his evolution in real time as he tinkers with old and new. And though this isn't his best fusion of that particularity of his style, Still Praying shows that there isn't such a thing as Westside Gunn by numbers, because he relishes in his strong ability to be versatile. But hey, that's just my perspective. If you're a Westside Gunn fan, this is another gem. And if you're in the mood for a cinematic experience that's as tattered and raw as it is finely tuned, you gotta check this one out. Alright, that's all I got. Bye!